Okay, let's get started. Welcome to Beacon Yoga. So today we're going to start sitting down, and you might want to get some props. I'm using a couple of books, and come to a comfortable seated position, which could just be like this with your knees sitting back. This is one way to sit. Another way to sit is to just come to sit with your knees out in front of you. So having something to sit on helps you to lift up, and it helps you to get your pelvis tilted forward just a little bit, which is what we want, just the slightest forward tilt, and that encourages some length in the spine. So cross your legs and sit comfortably, and try to sit in a manner where you can feel your sit bones pressing down into the mat. And then from that downward pressure, try to get a sense of lifting up and rising, elevating with the chest and the spine from the head on down. So now close your eyes for a minute and just kind of check in with what's there, and relax your hands onto your thighs. Let your shoulders sink down away from your ears, and then if anything, try to draw your shoulder blades in towards each other a little bit, which will further open the chest, and it'll also loosen up the back a little bit. So now as we go through the practice, you'll want to go easy with the poses. Go in about 70 or 80% until you start to feel some resistance, and then that's where you stay, and then you use your breath to go deeper. And recommending that you breathe in and out through your nose as much as possible if that's available to you. And breathing in and out through your nose, it does a few things. It moistens the air, and it warms it up a little bit, and then it also helps to regulate the flow to match that of the intake from your lungs. So now, sitting here with your eyes closed, just take a couple of breaths in and out, and as you inhale, press down into your sit bones, relax your belly out. As you exhale, draw the abs in towards the spine. Inhale, lift up with the chest. Exhale, root down into the sit bones. So now we'll take your hands behind you, and if you're way up high, you might want to lower it down a little bit. So taking your hands behind you, as you inhale, sit up nice and tall, and then exhale, release. Do that a couple of breaths, and then let it go. And then we'll start to loosen up the shoulders by bringing them forward, and then back, and then forward again, and then back, and forward again, and then back. And now next we'll inhale, lift up through the top of the head. Exhale, take the head, the left ear down towards the left shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale the other way. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now we'll do another scapular release. So turn your head to the right side, and then as you inhale, take the back of your head towards your left shoulder, lifting your left shoulder up towards the back of your head. And then as you exhale, bring the jaw down, bring the head down, and bring the left shoulder back. And then repeat this, inhaling up, exhaling back, nice and gentle. And then the other side. So place the right hand down, inhale, the shoulder comes up towards the back of the head. Exhale, the shoulder goes back while the face goes down. And now we'll come to hands and knees. Put the prop aside for now. So line up here, spread your fingers nice and wide so you can feel all the knuckles of your palm pressing down, and this will help take some of the pressure off your wrist. And then your shoulders should be lined up over your wrists, and then you're trying to turn the creases of the elbows forward a little bit. And now take your attention back to your hips. Your hips should be right over your knees, so your thighs and your arms are straight up and down, and your knees are hip width apart, hands are shoulder width apart. And now we'll go through some cat-cow. So in cow pose, as you inhale, tip your tailbone up, release your belly down, and then take your gaze up to where the floor meets the ceiling, and then go even a little further than that with your eyeballs. And then as you exhale, push down into your hands to round your back. Now let your tailbone drop down and draw your abs up into your spine. So now we'll repeat this back and forth. Inhaling to cow, exhaling to cat. Inhaling, exhaling. So now we'll take the right leg straight back, keeping the hips level, but lifting the leg up. Push out through the heel and point your toes down so your foot will be flexed. And then we're going to exhale and bring the knee to the nose. Inhale it straight back. Exhale, knee towards the nose. It doesn't necessarily have to touch. Inhale out. Exhale in. Set it down. Other side. Take the left leg back. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, draw the knee up towards the nose. You have to round your back to do this. Inhale it back. Exhale, push into your hands, round the back. Separate your shoulder blades from one another. One more time, back. And then exhale forward. And then we'll set back up to table. So now we'll curl the toes under. And then look forward as you inhale. As you exhale, start to pick your hips up, and with bent knees, push into your arms to send your hips up and back. And then start to pedal your feet out a little bit, one by one. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Pigeon toe your feet just enough so you can't see your heels. And then as you inhale, allow your belly to relax, open, expand. And then as you exhale, draw your abs up towards your spine. Make sure you're pressing down into the base of your thumb and index fingers so you'll have even pressure across the whole palm of your hand. And then we'll exhale, bend the knees. And then as you inhale, start to walk forward. Try to keep your feet parallel and keep your fingers onto the floor. And then we'll exhale to forward fold, bending your back, bending your knees a lot here. And rest your torso right on top of your thighs. And now inhale, take your hands on your shins and extend your back long, straight out. Extending the back straight out. And then exhale, bending at the hips. Try to keep a straight back as you forward fold. You don't have to go very far to feel this one. And then repeat that a couple of times. Inhaling, you're trying to lead with the chest, sending the chest forward. And then exhaling. One more time. Inhale. We're doing this with straight legs right now. And then exhale, bend your knees and forward fold again. And now start to straighten your legs, and as you inhale, roll yourself up one vertebra at a time till you come up to stand, and then we'll take the arms, stretch the arms wide, bring the palms up to face one another, and then exhale, back down, and then you find yourself at Tadasana. So now we'll inhale, the arms come up, interlace your fingers, and press your palms towards the ceiling. Try to lift up on the thumbs. Bring your thumbs up and forward and bring your pinky fingers down and back. Draw your elbows in towards one another to straighten your arms. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. And then as you exhale, come over to the right, taking the left shoulder back. And then inhale to center. Exhale over to the left, and now you're bringing the right shoulder back. Inhale up to center. Exhale, bring the arms behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Inhale, pull your knuckles down towards your heels. Broaden across the shoulders. And then as you exhale, start to bend into your knees and forward fold. So now broaden across the chest to start to straighten the arms. As you inhale, push down into both feet, sending your sit bones up into the air. And then as you exhale, relax the head and the neck. Let gravity pull the spine long. And now inhale, push into the feet to lift up on the sit bones to fold deeper into the fold. And then start to bring your arms up overhead. And then we'll exhale and release. And now we'll roll it up again, nice and slow. Inhaling the arms up overhead and then exhaling down to Tadasana. So now we'll go through a few sun salutations. So come to the top of the mat. Take your feet together, pick up your toes, spread them out, and then ease them back down onto the mat. And now push down into the pads of your foot and take the weight off your heels. And then relax the heels back down. So now all four corners of your feet are pressing down solid into the mat. And then try to get a sense of from the hips down is pushing down and rooting you in. And then from the hips up, from the spine up, is a lifting and expanding. And then we'll take each transition is an entire breath. So here we go. So palms are facing forward, arms are straight. Shoulders away from the ears. Draw your shoulder blades in towards one another. And then as you inhale, take the arms out and up. Keep your arms straight. Inhaling all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees here as much as you need to support your lower back. Inhaling, looking forward. Exhaling, prepare by putting your hands down next to your feet. And then step back to plank pose as you inhale. And now coming down, we'll lower down your knees and then your chest. Make sure your elbows brush against your ribs as you come down to the floor. And then relax your body right down onto the mat. And now inhale, come forward with the chest. Feel this in the upper back, moving forward while your pelvis is pressed into the floor. You could press into your feet a little bit as well. And then exhale, release, come back through hands and knees, and then find your way into downward dog again. So in downward dog, your hands are shoulder width apart, fingers facing forward. Pigeon toe the feet slightly, just enough so you can't see your heels. And then on the inhale, you're pushing into your arms to send your hips up and back. And then as you exhale, start to draw your torso towards your shins. We'll take 4 or 5 breaths here. Relax the head. The head should be going along the line of the arms. The sit bones are lifting. You should feel your sit bones lifting up and almost separating a little bit. And now we'll exhale and look forward. And then as you inhale, walk your feet, keeping them parallel. Walk them right up to where your hands are. And then we'll exhale into a forward fold. And then we'll inhale, pivoting at the hips, come all the way up. And then we'll exhale it back down to Tadasana. And now again, so starting, inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, looking forward with a nice straight back. You're trying to lengthen out the spine. Exhale, place your hands down. Inhale as you step back to plank. And then you can repeat knees, chest, chin, or come down with straight legs. Most important is to make sure your elbows brush against your ribs as you come down, and then we can come forward and up onto the tops of the feet and the hands for upward facing dog, or repeat the low cobra, and then exhaling, pick the hips up, roll over your toes, and settle into down dog. Nice deep breaths. Relax the belly out on the inhale. As you exhale, draw your abs up into your spine. And now on an exhale, bend your knees and look forward. Keep looking forward as you walk your feet up to your hands on an inhale. And then we exhale into forward fold. And now lifting the head, then the shoulders, then the torso. Lean forward on the hips. Don't let your hips lean backwards as you come up to your Urdhva Hastasana, arms overhead, and then exhale back to Tadasana, mountain pose. So one more time, inhaling up, arms are straight. If you can't keep your arms straight, then keep them out in front of you a little bit, or don't bring them so close together, but keep the arms straight to help loosen the back. And then exhale into a forward fold. Inhaling, extending. Exhale, place your hands down. Step back to plank on an inhale. Exhale the chaturanga nice and slowly. Come slightly forward as you exhale down. And then continue coming forward and up, leading with the chest for upward dog. And then exhaling, downward facing dog. Press into the hands. After 5 breaths, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale. Gazes forward as you walk your feet up towards your hands. Exhale into a forward fold, leaning forward without scrunching into the toes. Nose goes towards the shins. And then inhale, lifting the head, the shoulders, pivoting at the hips, coming all the way up overhead with the arms, and then exhaling back to Tadasana. So now we'll go to Surya Namaskara B, Sun Salutation B. So feet should be pretty close together or touching if that's comfortable for you. Bend your knees and sit back into a chair pose. Bring your biceps alongside your ears. Again, keeping the arms straight. Look out in between your hands. Inhale again, bringing the biceps back, and try to bring the chest or torso a little bit more vertical. And then exhale, straighten your legs, reach your arms forward as you forward fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, place your hands down. Inhale, step back to plank. Lower down to chaturanga on the exhale. Coming forward as you inhale to up dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. So now we'll step the right foot forward, pivot the left foot down, press into the left foot, keep the left leg straight and very strong, and push into it enough so you can feel the arch of your foot engage. And then on an inhale, we come on up into warrior one, making sure that the right knee is lined up with the second and third toe and behind the ankle. Inhale, the chest rises and the hips start to sink, and then when you exhale, you can sink a little bit deeper into it, pushing into the left leg to send the left hip forward, and then continuing to try to bring the biceps back along your ears for another inhale. And then we exhale, reaching the arms long. Come down and frame your right foot. Step it back, lower down, go through Vinyasa here, lowering to Chaturanga. Forward and up to upward facing dog. Exhaling to downward facing dog, and then it's left foot forward, right foot pivots down. Take your time to set up the foundation. You're trying to sink the hips while rising the chest. So inhale, push into both legs as you come up. We're trying to square our hips towards the front of the mat. Exhale, sink. Inhale, rise up, keep pushing into the back leg. And then on an exhale, come forward, pivoting at the hips. Step the left leg back and go through a vinyasa. Inhale, relax the belly out. Exhale, draw your abs into your spine. Breathe in and out through the nose. You can kind of constrict your throat a little bit and you'll hear your breath. It'll sound a little bit like the sound of the ocean. And that is Ujjayi breath. And then after 5 breaths, on an exhale, bend your knees and look forward. And then as you inhale, walk to the top of the mat. Straighten your back. Exhale, forward fold. Nose goes towards the shin. And now deep squat for Utkatasana chair pose. Bring your arms out overhead, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Pivot from the hips as you inhale. And then when you're ready to exhale, straighten your legs and find yourself back at Tadasana. So we'll do one more of these. So inhaling to chair, sit way back. You're trying to get the torso vertical, bring in the biceps alongside your ears. Exhale, come forward into forward fold. Inhaling, looking forward. Exhale, place your hands down on the mat. Step back to plank as you inhale. Lower down to chaturanga on an exhale. Inhaling to up dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Right foot forward. Pivot the left foot down. Press into both legs and sink the hips as you rise up to warrior one on the right side. Take a couple of breaths here. On an exhale, come forward. Frame the foot with your hands, step it back, lower down. Inhaling to up dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Big step with the left foot. Pivot the right foot down. Exhale here. Come up on an inhale. So the lifting and the rising and the extendings are definitely inhale. And then exhaling is for when you're folding forward, releasing, settling. So inhale, reach long with the chest. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, step the left foot back. Exhale, down to chaturanga. Inhaling to up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Relax the muscles in your face. Scan your body and look for things where you're holding on to tension that you don't need to. And lining up the bones so you're forming a V here. So if you get your skeleton stacked up just right, then there's very little effort required from your muscles to hold this. And at that point, down dog becomes a bit of a resting pose. Inhale, the hips go up and back. Exhale, the heels reach towards the floor. And the heels are going to reach towards the floor as the sit bones start to turn up towards the ceiling. So your Achilles tendon only has so much flexibility, and then the rest of it comes from somewhere else. So now bend your knees and look forward. Inhale, walk to the top of the mat. Exhaling into forward fold. Deep squat, chair pose. Bring the arms alongside the ears as you inhale up, and then we'll exhale back to Tadasana. Okay, so we'll take the hands and the hips. Inhale, draw the elbows in towards each other, lifting up with the chest. And then as you exhale, start to forward fold slowly, keeping the back straight. And then you can You can do this with your hands on your shins, or if you want to go deeper, you can grab a hold of your toes with your 2 fingers, called yoga toe lock. You can also bend your knees here to start out. And bending your knees is sometimes a good idea because then you can relax your whole torso onto your thighs and really take the pressure off of your lower back. So now, as you inhale, pick up, push down into the feet to send your tailbone, sit bones higher up into the air. And then exhale, just let go on the back of the neck and the head and let gravity pull your spine long. While if you're holding your toes, your elbows will go out to the side. This is Padangusthasana, hand to toe pose. And then after 4 or 5 breaths, release. Inhale up halfway, and now pick up your feet and step on your hands. Try to get your toes to reach all the way up to your wrists, and then you'll massage your wrist a little bit. Again, bend your knees as much as you need to here, and now inhaling, start to pick up on the sit bones, and then exhale, forward fold. And now the elbows just kind of go out to the side a little bit. You start to feel the hamstrings open up a little bit more here. And if you wiggle the toes, you can massage your wrists. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. And now, inhale and release the hands. Exhale, place your hands on your shins. And now as you inhale, come on back up to stand. We'll take the arms out and up, and then exhaling back down. So now we'll turn to the right, take a big wide step. Legs are straight, and now take the right foot, turn it out to the right so it's pointing back, and then turn the left foot in just a little bit. Stand up nice and tall with your hips facing straight out to the side of the mat. And now extend your arms long. Push out through the palms so you can feel the nerves going all the way from the shoulders all the way out to the palms of your hands, and then straighten your fingers again. Look out over the right hand. As you inhale, start to reach with the right hand. Let the right hip start to go under. Swivel the left hip inward a little bit, and then exhale. Come down and bring your hand down inside your shin somewhere, or you could reach the top of your foot. Take your time here. Take your left hand on your left hip, peel it open, and peel your left hip back so that your torso gets lined up over the right leg. And then you're trying to take your right hip and send it forward out to the side of the mat. So you're broadening across the waist here, externally rotating both thighs to open up the hips. And now raise your left hand straight up in the air. Close your left eye and look at the hand in the air with the right eye. And now as you inhale, lengthen out both sides of your waist. Push into both feet. And then exhale, extend the arms long. And now we'll exhale, look down at the hand. Inhale, come on back up to stand. And then we'll exhale, go right into warrior two. So you might have to walk your back leg back a little bit. Start to bend into the right knee, keeping the knee behind the ankle. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Push into both legs. We're still trying to externally rotate the left leg to open up this area in front of the waist here. Torso is straight up and down with your hips facing out to the side of the mat. And if anything, you may have to push your knee to the right a little bit to make sure it stays lined up with the second and third toe. And now as you inhale, look out over the right hand, rise up through the top of your head. As you exhale, maybe you can sink a little bit deeper, and that's accomplished by pushing into both legs very strongly. And now we'll take the right arm on the right thigh, windmill the left arm around, and try to make one straight line from the little toe side of your left foot out to your fingertips. So your chin is in towards your armpit, and then gaze out at your fingertips. As you inhale, push into the little toe side of the extended leg while you pull the fingertips away, and then as you exhale, start to twist open to the right. Some alternatives to this are you can take both arms straight up, or you could take your right arm off the thigh and bring it down into the floor. And then we'll windmill the arm down, leaving your hips where they are. Come back up to warrior two, and then we'll straighten both legs. Turn both feet in to face towards the side of the mat. And now pigeon toe your feet a little bit. Take your hands on your hips. Inhale as you lift up with the chest. Exhale, start to forward fold, keeping your back straight. You're pivoting from the hips here, so you want to feel this right in here. And now place your fingers, your hands down on the mat in front of you. Inhale, push into both feet. If you have to walk your feet a little bit wider apart, fine. The less flexible you are, the wider you should have your feet. And then as you exhale, start to fold, but first folding from the hips. And then when you feel enough tension there, the very last thing to do is to let your head relax and start to come into the forward fold. And now you can walk your fingertips back to where your fingers are even with your toes, and your elbows will go straight back at that point. And then inhaling, straighten the back out again, and then as you exhale, start to come forward. You can use the hands to help to draw your chest closer to the floor. And if your head's touching the floor, then move your feet together a little bit. So now we'll inhale up, halfway, exhale, hands to the hips. Inhale, come all the way up, and then exhale here. Inhale, extend the arms again. Exhale, hands to the hips as you forward fold. And now walk your arms out as if you're doing downward facing dog arms. And then walk the right hand back in a little bit. Take your left hand and reach it over and grab the outside of the right leg or shin or wherever you can reach. And now as you inhale, push into both feet. So you want to feel the arches of both feet engage. And then as you exhale, start to bend the left elbow and twist your body and start to look up underneath the right armpit towards the ceiling. You can deepen this by walking the right hand a little bit further out away from you. And now release, take the left hand, place it out in front of you, walk it back a little bit, take the right hand, and sometimes bend your knee a little bit to reach the outside of the right leg, and then straighten both legs again. Inhale, extend the spine long. Exhale, start to twist, open to the left. Gaze is now looking up under the left armpit. You can bend into the right elbow to help with the twist. Just not so much that you're torquing yourself, just enough so you start to feel the twist going on. And then exhale, release. And now walk both hands in underneath your face. Inhale here, exhale, and then inhale, come on back up. And now we'll turn the left foot out towards the top of the mat, straighten both legs, turn the right foot in slightly, extend your arms long, so the hips are going straight out the side of the mat. And what we're trying to do ultimately is externally rotate the thighs. So left thigh's externally rotating out, right thigh's externally rotating out. That's going to help you broaden all across the pelvis area here. Extend the arms long. Inhale as you reach forward. As you exhale, let the right hip swivel in a little bit so that you can get your left hand down somewhere onto your shin or onto your foot or some people can actually grab a hold of their toe. So, but don't go too far into it. Do right when you start to feel something, and that's where you should be. And then your breath will take you the rest of the way in. So taking the right hand on the right hip, peel the right hip open, peel the right shoulder back, and then take the right arm up in the air. And this time you're going to close the right eye and look at the hand in the air with the left eye. So now inhale, externally rotate the thighs, exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Inhale, extend both sides of the waist, try to lengthen both sides of your waist. You don't want to feel like you're kinking into the left side here. And now we'll exhale, release, looking down. Inhale, come back up to stand. And then we exhale into warrior two on this left side. So it might mean walking the back leg back a little bit. Then into the front knee. So here you're tucking the tailbone under. So we don't want to be sticking the butt out. We're trying to be all lined up in one alignment here. So tuck your tailbone under, sink into the, bend into the left knee. Make sure it's over the second and third toe. Don't let it cave into the right here. If anything, it's going to go out to the left. Push into the little toe side of the back leg. Feel that thigh engage. Peer out over your left fingertips. Inhale, lift up with the chest, and then exhale, sink a little bit deeper. And just keep repeating that over and over. And now we'll take the left arm on the left thigh, windmill the right arm around for Parsvakonasana, side angle stretch on the left side. So as you inhale, extend the right arm long, feel the whole right side of your body start to open up. And then as you exhale, start to twist open as you bend deeper into the front knee. So now the left hip's trying to go that way, forward. Inhale, extend, exhale, open. And then windmill the arm down. Leave your hips down as you inhale back to warrior two. And then exhale, windmill your arms down. Step your left leg back and either go through a vinyasa here or just stay in down dog. And we'll all meet up in downward facing dog. So walk your feet out a little bit. Now from here, let's step the right foot forward in between the hands. Lower your left knee down. You want to have your left thigh going back and down at an angle. So you may have to walk your left leg back a little bit. And now this is a stretch for the hip and the quad muscle. So you might be feeling enough of it just like this to go a little deeper, start to come up on the fingertips. So keeping the back straight here. Try not to round your back. Come up nice and straight, and you can press into the top of the left foot a little bit to give it a little bit more of an engagement into the quadricep muscle on that side. And also you want to feel all 5 toes of the back foot touching the floor. So now from here, push into the front leg to get your torso vertical. And then we'll inhale, the arms come up overhead. Again, you want to keep the arms straight. If you can't keep your elbows straight, then bring the arms out in front or don't bring them so close together. Relax the shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, rise up with the chest, and then as you exhale, start to bring your tailbone down and forward. So you're trying to bring your pelvis down and forward here, bending into the front knee. Make sure the knee stays behind the ankle. It can be all the way up to over the ankle, just not past it. And you should be feeling this in the right hip and then in the left quadricep muscle. Inhale, the chest is lifting. Exhale, the hips are sinking. The pelvis is coming forward. And now we'll exhale, bring the arms down. And now we'll do a twist. So take the right hand on the right knee. Inhale, the left arm long. As you exhale, come forward and bring that length and take your elbow on top of the knee, or if you can get the elbow to the outside of the knee, then you can do that here, but just don't force anything. Take your hands together and now try to bring your thumbs towards your sternum and relax the right elbow down. So we don't want the right elbow way up like I'm doing. You want to bring it down alongside your ribs. And now as you inhale, you lengthen up, and then exhale, start to twist open. And if you want to go deeper into this, you can curl the toes of the back leg up and extend, straighten out the left leg. And if you're doing that, you want to push out through the heel. And if you want to go further still, and only if your elbow's on the outside of the knee, then you can straighten the arms. You could take your fingertips down by your foot and then take your other arm, right arm, straight up in the air and then look up at it. And now to come out of it, we twist back to center, lower the knee down if it's up. And now let's inhale and straighten the right leg, come up onto the heel for a half of a split. Inhale, extend, exhale, forward fold over the leg a little bit. And then exhale, come back, and now bring your right shoulder inside of the right knee. Again, we're going to come up on the fingertips. And if you're feeling a good stretch, then just stay here for 5 breaths. To go deeper, you start to walk your hands forward a little bit and then bend into your elbows. And then here, you can come down if you have props. You can bring your elbows down onto, I'm using books, or you can bring your elbows right to the floor. So we're trying to keep the back from rounding too much. You want to you're better off not going as far down and keeping your back somewhat straighter, and then hugging the right knee in than to keep bending down. In time, you'll bend further and you'll be able to maintain that straight back. So now we'll inhale, walk the hands up, and then we'll take the right knee back. And now let's inhale, look forward, and then exhale up into downward facing dog. Walk your feet out, and your hips should feel, one side should feel a little different than the other. So now we'll step the left foot forward, right knee comes down. Release the top of the foot to the mat to start. Try to get all 5 of the toes on the back foot touching the mat. And then start to come up on your fingertips. As you're coming up, you almost want to round your back a little bit and try to tuck your tailbone under. And when you do that, that starts to send the pelvis down and forward. So after a few breaths there, then you can push into the front foot. Get your torso to vertical. Inhale, the arms come up, and then exhale. Very slowly start to bend into the left knee, but you're bending into the left knee. You're sending the hips down and the pelvis forward. You can push into the back foot a little bit more to engage, or just relax the foot on the ground. Look for where you're holding on to tension. Try to let it go. Try to only use the muscles you need to. Relax the muscles in your face. And now we'll exhale the arms down. We'll take the left hand on the left knee. Inhale the right arm up, getting length into the right side of the body. Exhale, taking the length, taking your time to set up and get the elbow to the outside of the knee. Hands come together, thumbs towards the sternum. They might not touch, but you're going towards the sternum. Relax the left elbow down along the side of your body. And now to go deeper, curl the back toes under, straighten the right leg. If you straighten the right leg, you want to be pushing out through the heel of the right foot. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twisting open. If you lowered your hands on the right side, do the same on the left. And then exhale, windmill it down. Bring the knee down. Come back to a half split on this side, so we're straightening the leg, bringing the toes towards the face. Inhale as you lengthen, exhale, forward fold. And now we'll set up for lizard on the left side. So now you're going to take the left arm to the inside of the left knee. Walk the right thigh back a little bit more. Start to come up on the fingertips. While you're coming up on the fingertips, you're trying to send your pelvis down and forward, keeping the back straight and elongated. So your spine is going out on a diagonal, and then you can start to bend into your elbows. And again, props are encouraged. Get into the pose where you're feeling some little bit of tension, and then you want to ride that with the breath to go deeper. Hug the left knee in towards the left shoulder. And now inhale and come up. We'll take the left knee back to table. Inhale, look forward, and then exhale into downward facing dog, walking the feet out. And now we'll bend the knees and then sit back in child's pose. So you can do this with your shins parallel or have your toes touch, and bring your knees apart, and then just bring your torso down in between your knees. Reach your arms out forward. So we're trying to get the tailbone back towards the heels and walking the spine forward. So now let's come forward and come on up to plank pose. So plank pose, if you move your hips up a little bit and then down a little bit, you'll find that spot where you feel your abdomen engage, and that's the spot where you want to hold it. And so then from there, push down into the hands and push down into the feet and engage your ab muscles. And we'll take 4 or 5 breaths here. And then on an exhale, bend your elbows and lower yourself down as slowly as possible. Make sure your elbows brush against the side body, and then come to rest on your belly. So now take your legs straight back, point your toes back, bring the arms alongside your body, pick up your right leg, reach the toes back, and then internally rotate the leg and set it back down. And now you should feel all 5 toes touching the floor. Do the same with the left. Pick the leg up, reach it back, internally rotate it, set it down. You can do this a few times. Now, reaching your fingertips down towards your heels, getting your shoulders away from your ears. As press down into your pubic bone, and then as you inhale, start to come forward and up with the chest. And then as you exhale, add the legs. So now the legs and the torso are up off of the floor. Your gaze is pretty much straight into the floor. As you inhale, pull the top of the head away from the feet and the feet away from the top of the head. And then as you exhale, press into the pubic bone and lift both halves of your body a little bit higher. And even if they don't go any higher, just think about lifting them higher. So inhale, extend, exhale, lift. Inhale, extend, exhale, lift. And exhale and relax. Relax it all the way down. Take your arms out overhead. Start to come up on the elbows. And paying attention to your lower back here. You don't want to feel anything in the lower back. You can start to come up on your elbows. And if you have no lower back pain, then you can bring your elbows right up underneath your shoulders. If you start to feel anything in the lower back, then walk your elbows forward a little bit. Spread your fingers wide. Have your palms shoulder width apart. Relax the whole lower part of your body into the mat. And now inhale. You're still trying to go forward and up with the chest, while you relax the lower half of your body into the floor for a nice gentle back stretch. And then we'll exhale and release. And now take your hands alongside your chest. Inhale up to all fours, and then exhale back to child's pose. So here I do recommend putting the toes together, separating your knees, and coming back into child's pose. And now we'll inhale and come up. And let's come to sit. So a block is useful for this next pose. If your hips are not very flexible, come to sit up on a book. And if you sit on something, sit on the edge of it so that you can tilt forward and still keep your back nice and straight. So now straighten the legs. Draw your little toes back towards your shoulders so your feet don't curl in. They're coming back like that. And imagine if your feet were flat against a wall. And then we'll inhale, the arms come up. As you exhale, start to tilt forward from the hips. And then you can take your hands down onto your shins. Keep your back straight here. Inhale, extend, and then exhale, start to bring your head towards your feet. You can also make yoga toe lock here, but only do it, don't sacrifice the integrity of the pose by trying to go too deep into it. So the main points here are to keep a nice straight spine and be folding from the hips, and then eventually in time you'll open up. So inhale, press the backs of the legs down towards the floor as you extend the spine long. Exhale, come forward. And the moves are very subtle. You don't have to move very much, but you should be feeling this in the lower back and in the hamstrings. And now we'll inhale to release. And now bend the right knee in. And here we want to watch the knee. So if you have any kind of knee issues, then you want to keep your foot farther down the leg. If your knee is comfortable, you can bring the foot all the way into your groin. So find a spot that's comfortable for you. Both sit bones are down into the floor. Take your right hand to the outside of the left knee. Bring your left arm up and back behind you. Set the heel of your hand right up close to your spine to sit up nice and tall. And then as you exhale, twist to the left, and then allow the right knee to just splay out. The right knee is trying to go towards the floor. So after a few breaths in this position, you can then start to come forward. So you're coming forward over the left leg and walking the right hand down the outside of the right foot. And then when you get as far as you're going to go, you can cross the left wrist over the right. So we're trying to get all the way to the outside of the little toe side of the foot, but it's not important to go that far. What is important is that your spine stays straight, both sit bones are on the floor. You can feel this right knee splaying out, opening up the hip, and a nice gentle stretch in the lower right side of your back, and that you're extending forward towards the extended leg. And now inhale to release, and then we'll switch to the other side. So bend the left knee in, let the left knee fall down towards the floor. You can even put a book underneath your left knee so you have something to press it down into. Take the left arm to the outside of the right leg, bring the right arm behind you, sit up nice and tall, exhale, twist. So you want to get the torso lined right up over the right thigh. Inhale up, exhale, twist, inhale, extend, and now start to come forward. You can use the back hand to urge your torso forward, but just don't force anything. Yoga is about the mind and the body connection, and that happens when the mind listens to what the body's saying. So your body lets you know when you've gone far enough, and then you let your breathing take you deeper into it from there. So right wrist crosses over the left. Inhale as you extend long, exhale coming forward. So the nose is going towards the foot. Left leg is splaying out to the left. Feeling this opening in the right hamstring and the left lower back. And then we'll inhale and come up. And now we'll come to lay on your back. So bend your knees in and walk your tailbone towards your heels, and then slowly lower yourself down. So we'll start with a nice stretch to the piriformis. So pick up the right ankle and cross it over and set it down behind the left knee. And then you can take your right hand and push the right knee open a little bit. And then start to pick up the left thigh. Interlace your fingers in the thigh or in the shin, whatever's more comfortable. And then relax your head and your neck back down onto the floor. And now we're trying to, and then have your toes flex so your toes are pointing straight up. Inhale and exhale. Start to draw the left knee in while you splay the right knee out. And then we'll exhale and release. And now we've got the other side. So cross the left ankle over the right knee. Use the left hand. Don't force the left knee out. Just kind of urge it out there so it knows where you're expecting it to go. And then we pick up the right leg. Interlace the fingers on the thigh or the shin. Relax your shoulders back down onto the floor. So you're drawing the right knee in and letting the left knee go out. And then we'll exhale and release. And now bend both knees, reach your fingers down towards your heels. Have about a fist width between your knees. And now you're going to press down on your feet and almost press them like you're going to press them forward on your mat, and then use that to start to lift the hips up for bridge pose. And now you can either hold on to the side of the mat or interlace your fingers and then start to walk your shoulder blades in towards each other. Keep your gaze straight up in the air, and now as you inhale, draw your chest towards your chin, and then as you exhale, start to pick your hips up a little higher. Being mindful of your knees, imagine you're squeezing a block between your knees, so don't let your knees splay out. Keep them together, Inhale, chest to chin. Exhale, hips go higher. And now try to reach your pinky fingers down towards the floor. And then we'll exhale and release nice and slowly. Hug your knees into your chest. And then roll from side to side, massaging the lower back. And then bring your knees back down. So now we'll pick up the right knee, cross it over the left. Push into your left foot to lift your hips up, and then move them to the right a little bit, and then let your knee fall over to the left. Extend your arms out to the side. Your knee should be at about the height of your belly button. And take your gaze out to the right. Keep both shoulders on the floor. And then we'll inhale and come back up. Uncross the legs. Cross the left knee over to right. Pick the hips up. Send them to the left a little bit. And then roll it over to the right while your gaze goes to the left. You can use your hand, your right hand, to draw the knee a little bit closer to the floor. But only do that if both shoulders are on the floor and you're not feeling a lot of tension in the lower back. If you're feeling a good amount of tension, then just stay there and just keep breathing into it. Breathe into the spots. Your breath goes where your mind goes. So where you're feeling the resistance, that's what you want to think about as you're inhaling. And you'll feel your breath expand into those spots. And then as you exhale, you release and create more space. So we'll inhale back to center, uncross the legs, and then set up for Shavasana. So Shavasana can be done with bent knees, or if your back is fine, then extend your legs long. Let your feet splay out to the side. Take your hands, palms up, place them alongside your body. Close your eyes. Allow your breath to slow down. And then beginning with the muscles in your face, relax everything that's holding on and just let it all just sink into the mat. And then you want to stay here for 4 or 5 minutes. And then after you're finished with your Shavasana, that's when you walk your feet back in, bending your knees. Hug your knees into your chest one last time. Roll to one side. Come back up to sit where we started. And that's it. Namaste. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next time.